Welcome, Nick.
Hello, hey, welcome. Not welcome.
Oh,
Hello,
it's great. If you
No,
want to
can say
welcome.
We're in
Yeah.
what are we in your den, your office?
I'm in my office at my house. I was very lucky that my dad took two girls outside to play, and then my older daughter is at daycare. So
Oh,
just
nice.
me and two dogs.
Okay.
Perfect. Perfect. And before this podcast, we kind of talked about me being able to call you Nikki. So I'm going to do that if you don't.
Of course,
That's all right.
definitely. That made us closer. I love it.
Perfect. Well, tell us, go ahead. You can ask the first question.
Well, I was just going to shed light on Nick in that I kind of like your story about how you became Nick because you're Chinese, you're from China, you're 100% Chinese.
Mhm.
Tell us that story.
100% made in China, designed in China, and made in China.
Yeah.
I think that's so cute.
I always open that because I think it's so important to understand where I'm from. And even if I'm American right now, today, but still the root, the culture I share, and that's very important. So I think I need to remind myself that, I need to remind my kids that. But I'm 100% made in China. And then my first name is Yu. And then you want me to share the name story, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My name.
that's
Okay,
cool.
perfect. Yeah, my first name is Yu. Actually, that's my mother's last name, but they picked out the name for me, Yu. That actually means jade, because both my parents, they're all teachers. My whole family is teachers, from my grandparents and to my parents. And then they picked the word Yu. It means jade. It means purity. It means that you'll be kind. You'll always do good for the humanity. So I always carry that name that remind me to be good. And then when I was in college and back in China, I watched a movie, it's Little Nicky by Adam Sandler. Since then, I fall in love with him. I always, Brian, my partner, brought me all his movies and all the time. And then, so I love watching Little Nicky. And then he, as a devil's son, but try to do something good for the society, for the world. At that time, I don't know what gay is, to be honest, because China, it's we call internet, but it's an intranet. It's a huge internet. Cannot access most website in China, outside of China.
Right.
So I don't know what gay it is. But somehow I feel like there may be something different about me, and maybe want to be a rebel or something. I just love the character of Little Nicky, so I call myself Nicky. But after so many years, after I moved to US, people always say in corporate, people say it's too casual. And just like when I sing the Smelly Cat song from Friends to my corporate friends, and they say you are too casual. So they say drop the name, the Y in your name, call yourself Nick. So that's what my name is, Nick. So please call me Nick.
I like Nikki too. I think that's great.
But technically, you're not in the corporate world anymore, right?
No, I'm not. I'm all by myself. And my partner, we are doing real estate. So when I moved to United States, I went to East Coast, and then I went to get my MBA at Duke for 2 years. And after that, I moved to Seattle in 2009. When all the economic crisis happened, I worked for Microsoft for 7 years. It's a great career. I love it. I love the company. Everything's so amazing about that. They create a work-life balance. But there's some part of me, I think I just want to do something different. And then so when our older daughter is 1 year old, when our twin daughters, they are in our surrogate mother's belly, and then it's just 4 months old at that time and still in the belly, I decided to quit my job. And then so I quit my job and then joined my partner, Brian. He used to work for Safeway. He quit college, worked for Safeway in the retail for 18 years. And then he quit to do real estate. And I joined him after 7 years with Microsoft to do real estate. So we are running a real estate investment company today, and also doing the property management business today. And then we're busy enjoying real estate and enjoying spending time with the girls, but no corporate anymore.
How many doors?
Not many, to be honest, because we have only started this 2 years. So we manage around 280 property. It's mostly single family. We don't try to do
a lot of doors.
Yeah, it's a lot for single family.
For single family, yeah, we try to run away from multifamily, and then it's just for clientele, and then also the maintenance part. Anyway, so that's what we do. Yep.
All right. So you grew up in China. I read you have a teaser for your book out there. You can sign up for on the website, 2dads3girls and .com. And it basically is a good teaser because it just starts out in your story. And I don't know how much of it you want to get into without giving away a little bit of the book, but you grew up in China, you moved to the U.S., you moved to Seattle, and but never, I mean, other than having feelings that you were different and maybe you related to little Nikki, I mean, never really explored that whole other side. So tell us about, like, what was that transition like? And I mean, you don't get into how you met Brian or anything. So I'm curious about, like a condensed version of your story, of your journey.
Let me see. I think there are so many different perspectives into the story. I think the number one thing is the Chinese education system, the one I hate so much, the one also bring me everything I have, was a distraction for me to facing my sexual identity. So because when you grow in China, there's millions of students every year, and they need to fight for what we call the college entrance exam. That's basically what we call a single log bridge. You cross that and then to get a college. Other than if you cannot get a college, you work for the factories that produce your iPhone, produce the Nike and all the shoes, right? So I need to do that. And then that actually helped me in some way. I never need to face my sexuality. But until I was writing the book, 2 Dads of 3 Girls, really completely to dig through all my memory, I have buried one memory that very deep in my mind. That's the second part I want to talk about. So that's in my senior year in college. Actually, at that time, I know there's something different. In college, my roommate and he's a guy, and I was terribly homesick. So I don't know what to do. And then he's very close to me. And then so he listened to me. He lent me his shoulder, and then to cry on, to thinking about not missing family. I was thinking about suicide, all the thing at that time. My mom living in Guangzhou, which is 1,800 miles away, even hire psychiatrists back home, and she can consult to make sure I'm okay back in college.
Right.
So, and then that's not what helped me. It's not a psychiatrist. It's actually the friend, my roommate. And then so we start holding hands and walking on the street. We actually watched Little Nicky together in a station we call it's a 2-person 1 machine. So it's a giant TV machine, and then there are 2 chairs in front of it. You pick the movie you want to watch, and then we always hold hands watching the movie. He's completely straight. But sometimes it's just weird.
I think that is so sweet.
Yeah,
Girls hold hands all the time, and boys and men in the US, like I still hold hands with my girlfriends, but men are like,
yeah, it's like, what's
so
my
cool.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. So we do that, and then but there's just one day somebody we were walking on the street. They start calling us faggot, and then those 3 big shouting of the faggot, it completely pushed me back to my depression. And then so he started to find his new best friend not try to play with me anymore. So anyway, so that's a setback. That's my first experience. And my second experience, so away from him, I don't have anybody anymore. So I'm going back to my little snail, like to my shell. And then I try to go to the internet cafe in China. So at school, I have a laptop at that time. I can access a computer, internet, but those are in highly monitored internet. I cannot search anything like related to gay and things like that there. So I need to go outside to find the darkest corner in the internet cafe, and then try to start search what's gay, what's homosexual. And then in China at that time, all the things you search is related with AIDS. It's a disease. It's a shame for the family. Oh. So I don't feel good, but I do think I'm special. Sorry, go ahead, Patrick.
I was going to say, what happens in college if they see that on your search history? Do they just kick you out or something?
I don't know. This is something about the Chinese culture. Nothing is black and white. Everything is so gray area. That's why people, when you ask something, people from China may not give you a direct answer. Say yes or no. They're okay, we'll think about it. It's the same with Japanese, the same with Korean. And then in the East Asian country, we're always this kind of culture. So I don't know. I did once see a newspaper talking about this. As they say, it's just a shame for the for the student, for the family, things like that. So, but I don't know what would happen to me because I never. So,
right.
But so yeah, so so that's my part. Is I went to internet cafe, and then somehow I found gay.com. I don't know why Chinese government didn't block that website at that time, but there I met a guy, and then we talked for a month on the internet, and that's my first time to listen to somebody, and then who is gay, who's sharing his experience, and then but I didn't say anything. He asked me, "Are you gay? When do you know you're gay? Are your family know you're gay?" Everything I just say no, because my English was not good, and also I don't know how to face that. But I do remember that after that that Christmas, he from Vancouver, he visited Shanghai. So actually he wanted me to meet him. That was a crazy experience. So I went to meet him. It's over 2 hours bus ride from my school to go to meet him. We spent the night together. We didn't have sex. I don't even know what sex is, but we did have a lot of intimacy moment with a guy. But that moment, intimacy, when I think at that time is so much pleasure, but in the next day, it's so empty. It's so sad, so scared. It's like that completely pushed me to the rock bottom, because after that, I cannot talk to my parents anymore. I don't know what to say to them, because it's pushing me. It's like I'm the shame of the family. I might be gay, and I think I might have AIDS. And I search online. I just don't know where people talking about whether you have AIDS or not. So that just pushed me to my rock bottom. And then I learned one thing for my middle school Chinese teacher. And then she said, every day, I know you're sad, you don't want to study, but you need to do that. So every day what you can do, you get up, you go in front of your mirror, tell yourself you'll be amazing today, and start smiling, even if it's fake. Smile for 5 minutes. At the end, your muscle will relax, you'll be happy. So practicing that all the time. And then that's how I live through those days. So I can have all the fake optimism going to work, and then to talking about my dreams coming to America, which I think is to get out of the environment, to live freely, and then to pursue a different career. So that's all my pre-America experience with gay. And then I came here. Should I continue, or do you guys have any question? Meeting Brian, maybe?
Keep going.
I mean, there's I guess the only question I have is, was it like a lifting off of a lead blanket when you got here? I mean, we're not perfect. We're a long ways from it in the US, but I think we're definitely better than China.
In that part, definitely.
Is China still that way?
Yes. It's very, it's even, I came out the book and I announced on my Chinese social network. A lot of more people actually are supporting it now. On 2 days, I just released an article about my story. There are 10,000 views, 500 new followers for the brand new account. I just launched it. So I think that's all good. But on the other side, like my family, my aunt, and then she instantly talked to me, say, what are you doing? Do you want us to be all in shame? What do you want all our neighbors and friends to say to us? And then, so I haven't talked to her since. And, but I don't know. I think I have lived long enough to say, I need to live the way I need to live. And then that's the best way to respect the people I love, and then people who love me.
And they really honestly, they have two choices. They can be proud of you, or they can go a different route, but it's their choice.
Like my parents, at first, we haven't talked after I came out to them officially. We haven't talked for a long time. And then they came visit us in Seattle, and then they left. They said they would never come back again. But today, they're happily taking care of their grandkids, living with us in the same house. And we're very fortunate to have that. That's just a big transition.
That's awesome. That's incredible. That's great. To mention, I was like, all they got to do is meet those. I kind of trolled your page a little bit, and those girls are adorable. My God.
Thank you.
By the way, we're both a little bit teared up.
Sorry.
I think no, it's good. It's but you know, the being shunned by your family for who you are, I can't imagine how painful that must be. Mm-hmm. So sorry.
Especially when anyway. Yeah. It makes me really sad that people force shame on other people. That's all.
Yeah.
Or try to. It anyway. Is. So go back to Patrick, what you asked about America. Is America all good? It's actually not. And then especially when I went to Durham, and then I thought I went to a great university in orientation. And then I was told that the Durham County was the second poorest county in the whole United States. And then the racial issue is still crazy. And then there are all kinds of racial problems there that I don't need to face. In China, I'm the majority. I don't even know their different race. I know they're not, but it's not in my life, you know, so you don't experience that. And then when I moved here, I realized, oh my God, I'm a minority.
Yeah.
And then there's some experience with my classmate, and then made me to feel like I am a second-class citizen. While I was not even citizen at that time. I was just second-class aliens, and then living in this country. And then also that's a time I need to find a job, because living in China, I spent every single dime I made. And then coming here, the only thing I got is $150,000 student loan from Sallie Mae and Citi. And with Citi, the interest rate is 11%. So when I graduate, I need to find a job, and I cannot go back to China. I know that because I cannot be myself. So I spent every single minute possible to study. And then I saw the word LGBT. There's a club at Duke. And then, but I don't even have time to talk to anybody in that club. And then because I need to study. So that's my experience for those 2 years. It's not until I really got a job at Microsoft when I moved here. And then that's 2009. And then a year after I settled, after I really start to see what is the world I'm living in that I fought so hard for so long in my life, and then to finally land it here after a year. And then I saw in some of the offices of my Microsoft colleague, they have their husband and their, a same-sex marriage, those photos there. And I started thinking, maybe it's okay. Maybe I am gay. Maybe it's okay I'm gay. And then that leads to, I went to Vancouver. That's the sneak peek you read on my website. I went to Vancouver because I thought it's far away from Seattle. I won't run into anybody I know. And then that's where I went on Craigslist to meet different guys. And that's where they took me to the gay bars. And then for the first time ever, I feel like I'm not different and then anybody else. I'm being so accepted. And that's the beginning story of me coming out. Fast forward, it's actually also in those 2 or 3 weeks, that's where on Craigslist back in Seattle, I met Brian. Just like how fast your marriage is. I think 6 months you guys got married, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we didn't get married in 6 months, but we moved in over a month. So I just moved in with him. So anyway, so that's, and then we can talk about all the not so perfect couple issues.
So you mentioned
Sorry,
you mentioned that you and Brian are like total opposites, right? I mean, you said something, I don't know if I read it or maybe you wrote it here, but you have almost nothing in common.
Nothing.
Yeah. So
my friend jokes. It's like, are you serious? You're dating him? Is that what you want your life partner to be? Because to be honest, on resume, everything on me looks like at least what my friends are looking for. A great job. I went to the best college in China, a great college for MBA here. I work for a great company, have a great career, and I travel around the world to all 35 countries or more. And then that's before I come here. And then why I need to find somebody whose family is completely destroyed, right? His mom left him for drugs. And then when he was 18 years old, and then there's a lot of divorces in the family. And then he didn't even finish his college. And then he worked for Safeway as a retail for 18 years. So a lot of people compare those.
Sure.
But to me, that's not the important thing. So that's one part difference. But the other part difference is how different we are as a person. I'm a planner. I plan every single thing.
Sure.
But however, I live a very messy life. I don't never clean my office and do things. But Brian, it's always carpe diem style. Enjoy the day. And then so he remind me every day how important today is, how much time I need to spend with my girls today. Just like tomorrow, it's the end. Like the first episode you guys interview, Fernando and Elizabeth, right? They talking about like,
Yeah.
so I do thinking about, that's what Brian remind me every single day. And then there are a lot of attraction, I think, for different lifestyle, different style. Oh, also Brian quit school because he started a band to play music. And he's a great singer. He sang "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston so amazingly well. And
Awesome.
even the highest note. So I think there is a different attraction. But on the other side, that creates so much trouble down the road in our relationship. And then because we are coming from so different family. Anyway.
So is there anything from, I mean, you've been in the United States now for 12, 14 years?
12 years. Yep, 12 years.
Mm-hmm. Are there any cultural, like things that are tough between you two, you know, you being from China or no?
I think there are, even from the smallest thing. Something surprised me, and I always collect, it's like when you drink a bottle of water or those honest tea, the glass, and then why we recycle? We should keep it. We should put beans in there. We should put rice in there. We should put different things in there from small things. Or to when you have a cold, and then or you have a headache, do you eat something to kill your headache, right? But in China, we never do that. We're always thinking about, oh, you think about what's the root cause. And the thing about the root cause is that you lack of sleeping, is that you ate something wrong, is that you caught a cold, and then you do different things to thinking about it will cure the symptom, right?
Right.
So it's easy on us, so we can do different things, right? When we have headache, we do things differently. But the problem is now we have kids. So what do we do? I mean, it's like when the kids have a problem, do we do the Chinese way or do we do the United States way? So there are a lot of fight, to be honest. It's like, it's still not perfect, but Brian is a bigger man here a lot of the time. Always
he lets you get your way.
Yes. And then I'm sometimes a little bit, it's like, no, we need to do it this way, Brian. Just shut up. And then so he will let me do my way. But yeah, anyway, I'm very shameful for that. But.
What's that quote? The biggest person in an argument?
Yeah, what is it? The master always concedes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The greater master always concedes. So I guess Brian's the
Well, I mean, it's a nice way of saying, I mean, Sam loves quoting that greater master always concedes, and then she wants me to be the greater master.
Conceding one.
Always have her way.
I'm like, you're the winner. You just do what I want.
Yeah.
I think
there are those are little things about the culture. And then of course there are bigger things about the culture as well. It's like, what's your family role in your family? When I got in the relationship with Brian, we're thinking about starting a long-term relationship. To be honest, it's not too promising, especially I'm thinking about like where his mom is at. I mean, I love his mom, but on the other side, she's not taking care of herself, still living in the life that all her other family already cut the relationship with her, except Brian, still talk to her, still support her. Like, for me, I married Brian's marrying to a family. But for Brian, he told me so many times, I'm marrying him. I'm not marrying to family. But on the other side, he is really a bigger man here. And then he accept my parents just like his own parents. And they live with us, take care of us. When I travel for business before I work for Microsoft, he would take my parents to go to all the pizza places, and I go to do a lot of fun things that I didn't even take my parents to do. So I appreciate all those. Yeah.
So and honestly, we're pretty big believers in, I mean, it's not that opposites attract, but it's that opposites kind of stay together because it's a balance beam, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think opposites do attract, but I do think they stay together because it does. Patrick also is more carpe diem than I am. I like to plan things. In fact, we were just fighting about that earlier today. I think we find some middle ground there, you know, where we don't plan out every moment and we can't live totally carpe diem, but we find this nice.
And honestly, I'm going to push you on that a teeny bit. If opposites attract, I think it's subconsciously. I
don't think you
consciously
you don't.
We're like, oh, we don't have anything in common. Consciously, you're like always looking for somebody you have so much in common with, but then
But then you end up with somebody that you don't.
Somebody you're gonna be divorced
Mhm.
for 4 years.
Yep. I can't agree more. Yes.
What? So how long have you guys been married? Tell us a little bit about you and Brian and your relationship, and then the girls. I want to hear about the whole surrogacy experience. And
Mhm. Yeah, we got married in 2013. It's August 15th. That's a day that in China, it means, in traditional Chinese calendar, it means it's family gathering together. It's a very happy day. So we got married. I'm very proud of that. We spent $263, including the court fee and then the dinner that treat some of our friends. So we live very frugal life. That's what we do. And then the reason we got married, I think, is we love each other, of course. It's also, to be honest, at that time, we also want to be a little bit rebel because I was a Chinese citizen. So I was trying to get a green card through Microsoft. And that was the year 2013. My green card finally is ready to get approved by my job. But my attorney at Microsoft say, by the way, they approve gay marriage. You can also get a green card through the gay marriage. And I said, oh, maybe we just want to protest the system or something like that. We say, we're trying to through a job or through love. And then definitely through love. So that's a choice we made. So that's also the timing. We know we want to get married and we want to live together. But that's also a timing that we want to be a little bit rebel in trying to, make me feel a little bit secure, because I have been an immigrant for my whole life. Even living in China, I move around to different places. I always feel like I'm worse than the people around me. That's just an insecure feeling I have. So that made me feel a little bit good. And then after getting married, and we always thinking about what we need to do next. I have a theory, and it's just over the years I figure out. It might be wrong, but at least that's why I believe it. It's not like I'm gay, I need to be proud of. It's not, I don't believe in gay pride thing. It is what I do. And then, for example, if I just come out to my parents to say I'm gay, if I just tell all my colleagues that I'm gay, I mean, so what? I mean, you are who you are. It's what you do. So at least what I have done is I find Brian, I told my parents I'm gay because they need to know there's another person in my life I love. I want to build a life together. And then when I get married, I told my colleagues at Microsoft, because I'm married now, I have a family, so they need to know. And then it's when we have kids, I told my over 90 years old grandma in China, I'm gay, because they know they have a great granddaughter. And then she wants to see, I do think it is those things that you chase after, and you accomplish that, and then you celebrate with the people you love and you care about. So that's also our story we're thinking about. Now we are married, and then we continue traveling and then to different places. I love those experiences built together. And then, but what's next? So we're debating at that time. The first one is maybe I should just quit my job at Microsoft, travel with Brian a year, just around the world, and then to see the world a little bit more, maybe push the country from 35 to 100 countries, and then to feel good. Or a wise man once said, it's not where you travel, it's who you're traveling with. And then I experienced that so much with Brian by traveling to Malaysia, to Singapore by myself when I was in early 20s versus with Brian when I was early 30s. And then that experience tastes so differently. So, and then we're like, how wonderful it would be to travel with kids and then to let them see the world together with us.
Yeah.
So that's why we decided to have kids. We said, let's do it. And then, so we went through adoption. We're trying to find all the adoption agency and then go to all their seminar to understand the situation. But there's just something, it's not clicking. And then the adoption paper we're ready to sign. It's on our desk for so long. We're just not ready to push forward. And then I think it's part of us. Maybe it's because of Chinese of me, still want blood relationship to my kids. Maybe it's to help to make my parents feel good. I don't know. That's the thing I still need to figure out. And then, but we decided to do surrogacy. And then at first, it's also, I heard surrogacy is very expensive. We don't have much money, even if we live a very frugal life. And then, but we decided to do it, and then we do it. And so now 3 girls. So anyway.
How does that work? Which one of you is the father? Did you just throw it all in the, I don't even understand how a surrogacy works, to be honest.
Oh my God, that's some part so funny. I learned so much about women. And I don't imagine I'm gay. I'm seriously. It's so we did twice. We did the journey twice, both with the same surrogate. She lived in Fresno, California. We named our last daughter Chelsea after her because she is like family now. She helped us on the journey twice, but the first time we used an agent to help us find her, to connect her. So the first time we found an egg donor. The egg donor is anonymous, so we don't know who she is. And then we just match each of our sperms. So our sperms going to match, have half of the eggs. And then after we match, I don't remember how many embryos left after the 5 days. And then we went to do the genetic testing. So we went to test all the sex of the baby and whether they will have disease in the future and genetic disease. And then so all the healthy ones, those are the good ones. And then so we'll plant. So I think I have 5 or 6 that are good embryos. Brian only have 1. And then Brian's is a little boy. Mine is all girls. So we plant Brian's little boy, and then one of my girls is all AA grade embryo into a surrogate mother. And that's a whole story that I wrote in the book. But at the end, we only have 1. So Brian's didn't make it. So that's with us first. And the second time when we tried to do the sibling journey, and then I was very selfish at that time, trying to save money. So I just use all mine, and my mom yelled at me and said how selfish I could be. So she
I agree
said,
with your mother on that one.
Yeah, you're not going to do that. So, and then we end up to find another different egg donor because Brian doesn't have any embryo left. So the other different egg donor, and then because I always think it is Brian's problem, because to be honest, Brian is an alcoholic, and then so he can completely black out and everything. I never understand. I don't even know alcoholic, not to mention having been in a relationship with alcoholic. And then so I always think that's a problem, why it doesn't match. It doesn't create an embryo. But the second time we have different egg donor, we do the same thing. And then Mother Nature taught me a lesson because none of my embryo is good. Most of Brian's is good. So I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. So Brian laughed at me about that because we are very open. I share my concern with him.
Yeah.
So at the end, we pick one from his embryo and then from mine from 2.5 years ago. So that was frozen. And then to plant, so 2 girls into the surrogate mother's belly. So basically a surrogate has 2 embryos, the sperm from different dad, from me and Brian. The egg is also from different women. And then so 4 different hormones in her body, and then to make magic happen. And so that's
both, right?
Yeah.
And then we have both. Yeah.
And why did what? So were all of Brian's embryos also girls then? Or you could have picked a boy, or you decided on the girl, or how did that work?
That's a great question. We were thinking about boys or girls, and then Brian wanted girls because he just think girls would be easier, and then because none of us know sports.
Because they don't know sports.
That's a
you
real.
know what?
It's a real
I guarantee you, all 3 of your girls are going to be jocks now.
They're probably all going to be.
Yeah, they're going to be like Olympic basketball players and.
Right after this interview, I'm taking my older daughter to gymnastics. Oh my gosh, she loves gymnastics.
Well, I had to grow up with dance. Our daughter did dance.
Yeah,
oh,
and
really?
our son not into any
and I wanted
sort of
kids.
athletics.
I wanted kids that like sports because I grew up a jock, and
He really wanted it. He was so excited that it was a boy. But when Paddy and I got married, Jacob was 3.
Yeah, neither of our kids took to sports much.
He's really not into sports.
I call my friends. I'm like, hey, does your kid have a game today? You care if I go along?
Yeah, he's always trying to find some other kids to hang out with.
I think they would just be who they are, who they will be. Like,
so that's actually
they're just gonna be exactly who they are.
This is all totally brand new to me, but there has to be that's got to be some kind of a record too, right? Two different embryos with 2 different fathers born from the same woman. I mean, how often has that ever happened?
That's normally not very common. Most people, they actually want to share the same genes. So normally the mother, the egg donor, is coming from the same, and then just 2 fathers. And then a lot of surrogates in the clinic, they actually don't do transfer 2 anymore because the success rate for each embryo to be successful is 80 to 85%.
Hmm.
So it was a good grade. So it's very risky. Like in the book, I mentioned a lot about how right at the end, but how wrong I was in the second time transfer too. It's our surrogate was in delivery at 27 weeks. The cervix is 2-inch open, and then so it's ready to go. And then I flew down to Fresno to see that. Thank God, didn't deliver. So the delivery was at 34 weeks, but still the kids were in NICU for 3 weeks. Those 3 weeks are, one is 3, the other is 4 pounds. So those 3 weeks made me to appreciate life so much more. It's like the things we take it for granted, because there are 3 things they need to graduate from NICU. They need to keep warm, right? And then to generate heat. And then they need to be able to breathe. They need to eat. And then for my older daughter, she doesn't need to experience any of those. For my younger twins, they need to learn every single thing. It was just like sobering to think about that. And then I do think it is the kids. Go back to your original question. And I think these 3 daughters made our relationship much, much stronger than before. Mm-hmm. I think it made us realize it's not just about us anymore. It's really all about them. And then we are completely on the same team to raise them, to make them amazing. There's one thing I need to share. I know I talk a lot, so I apologize. But the one thing I need to share.
We're very grateful. People are probably tired of hearing us talk.
No, it's my mom said that one day. It's I love going to and Brian after dinner, just walking the neighborhood around with the girls. I really like the Seattle area because nobody treats us differently. Like when we go to QFC and everything, people never give us a look or ask, hey, how are 2 dads and 3 girls? And then, but instead they would just give us a QFC future shopper, 3 girls, each one, just like we don't even know them, but it's so normal, And I love that. So we come home and it's a little bit chilly, in Seattle, even the summertime at night. So I came home and sit down with my mom, and then my mom brought the red sugar ginger soup because when it's cold, and then she always wanted to drink that to help to not get sick, basically. So drinking that, I was asking my mom because they were helping to take care of the 2 twins, the NICU babies. And I said, Mom, how did you do that? I mean, there's so much thing, and then you were also learning English at the local library and doing all those things. And then I said, you are amazing. And then, so I have a conversation with my mom about that. And then in the conversation, my mom just said, actually, she so appreciate how we are doing it as 2 dads, and then overcoming so much in life. And then finally can do something that they cannot imagine that could ever happen. And I was talking about how lucky we feel because I was in a group called Men Having Babies. It's a Facebook group. It's gay guys from around the world try to have babies because there every day you see people lost babies. It's really sad. Yeah. And then I said how lucky we were to having this. And my mom said, it's actually, I think all your girls are really, really lucky because they think that completely shocked me. It just made me cry in front of my mom. It's like, I never thought that way. My mom said, how much you guys experience to really understand who you are and how much you can teach your kids. And my mom said she wished she had the kind of understanding of life when she was having me. And then when she and my dad was raising me up, I just think that completely gave me so much gratitude for who my mother's is. And then also what I can teach my kids, And so anyway, sorry.
I'd love for your mom to write a blog about their journey would be neat too, because, they went from not talking to you for, I don't know how long it was.
For a year or something.
For a year. And then to getting to a place where not only are they full of acceptance and living with you and helping you, but proud of you and blown away by what you know what I mean? They actually understand. It seems like for her to say something like that to you, it's like, wow, she gets it,
Yep. I completely agree. So I set up actually a Chinese social network group. It's because I think the reason I want to write this book is not only helping the people who are gay, who are trying to handle their identity in the world, and it's also about to help the people who are around them to really fully accept them, to love them. So that's why I set up a group. It's for parents, for people in China or in any other countries that they want to join, they want to help each other, and then to accept their kids or their loved ones, who they are. So my parents are actually part of it. After I published the Chinese social network already, parents started reaching out. So I grabbed them all to start talking to my parents. Hopefully they can share the love and courage journey that they had been through, or the struggling.
Yeah.
And it's
That's great. We have that in the US. We have something called P-Flag that
Oh, okay.
parents and friends of lesbians and gays, I think. I mean, it's a fairly old, or I don't think we have
the GTQ or
didn't
whatever.
have so many
Yeah.
acronyms, but it's obviously for all of that. But there is an organization in the US similar to that. But I think it's amazing that you did that.
No, and it's good to hear. We shared it with you at the beginning, and maybe a lot of people don't know this, because we have this podcast that's largely so far been, I don't know, I mean, mostly, I think everybody we've interviewed has been pretty much heterosexual, but
yeah, they have been.
But
we
have,
as far as we know.
Anyway, we have 2 gay kids, and it breaks my heart to think that anybody would ever treat them differently because of that. So
yeah.
Yep. And also in a relationship, I do think, like we talked about this before, to me right now, to think people would treat us differently, to be honest, it's unthinkable. Maybe I'm living in a bubble in my world. Maybe I'm just flooded with love from my kids, and from my parents, from Brian. And then I just think it's like, we as a gay couple, we're facing all the difficulties and then the challenge a heterosexual couple are having. We argue all the time about the dumbest things, and then who is the better person, who's the bigger person, and then all those, and then it's all the same to me. I really wish down the road there could be something like nobody will really bother. Like you say, saying I'm gay would be like saying I'm straight. It's so weird. Why you need to say you're gay? There's nothing special about it.
It is so weird. And we talked a little bit about this before the podcast, is we don't talk about it that often with anyone, I guess, unless it comes up, or when it comes up a lot is if somebody says something that's a little bit offensive, then I will often say, gosh, I have 2 gay kids, and people are like, I've known you for years, and I didn't know that, because we don't think of them as any different than anybody else. Like, it's weird. Like you said, it's weird. Like, oh, I'm a straight lady. Like, should we walk around? It just seems like such a strange thing when you give it more thought from the other perspective.
Right.
I'm glad that you're in such a loving and accepting area, neighborhood, community. I think that says a lot about Seattle and where you're living.
And Sam and Patrick, I do think that's one reason why I want to write a book, because I know a lot of places not. Like when we travel in Thailand, immigration stop us. And when we're in Japan, they stop us. They're like, who are you guys? Why you have a kid? And then we show birth certificate. And then in Thailand, they laugh at us. They're like, is it possible, 2 gay dads? And it's those kind of feeling give me humility. And then to give me the power, it's like we need to share a story. There's so many people in the world want to destroy the basic humanity, the kindness in life. And then I'm fortunate. I mean, I fought so hard to live here, to live in the life. And I need to share those stories to make it as common as possible for people around the world. So that's one of my mission.
Thank you for fighting so hard, because your story will inspire millions, I'm sure of it.
Are you going to release it in Chinese? The book?
Yes. So I talked to some publisher in China, and it's impossible to release it as a book. Right. So that's why I need to just share on social network.
Yeah.
And then, so it will be free. And then writing this book is never about making money. It's just deliver a message. So I write it in English, but I'll translate it into Chinese one by one chapter, and to release that. Hopefully it will impact a lot of people's life in China and parents. And
that is so awesome.
And here too. Yeah. There's still, as we've said, there's still ways to go here in the United States as well.
Our son went to school in
kind of a rural area of Virginia.
Should we say where?
No, I don't know. You can say where if you want.
It's a school that's maybe 5 minutes from the border of Tennessee, so it was close to where. I mean, it's also
not too far from Durham,
30 minutes
Raleigh,
from
it's
30 minutes from North Carolina, so it's in that same area. And he was like bullied there also, so I kind of
Yeah, he
sure
had
some
a
of his
pretty bad
stories
experience.
can relate to, you know, the shit.
Yeah. There is some
But-
shit. There's definitely some shit out there. But
Yeah.
I think you should continue carrying this flag and doing what you're doing. I have to ask you, are you teaching the girls Chinese as well?
Yes, they learn Chinese,
Oh, that's
especially
great.
one of the older twins. She's blonde, and because she's Brian's gene, and then she only speaks Chinese. So Brian is so proud, even if Brian doesn't speak Chinese, so cannot talk to the girl. So anyway, but he's so proud to be a dad that has a white girl that only speaks Chinese.
That is
No,
great.
well, plus it was confusing.
I love that.
It was confusing for Sam because you have that one video where she's making animal noises, and when she went rawr, and Sam's like, "What was that?" And I was like, "That was Chinese for lion."
What? That didn't happen.
That is Chinese for lion. That's how my dad teach her.
Those videos are so cute. Oh my gosh. I especially
thank
love
you.
the one when she's blowing the dandelion thing.
Yeah.
Remind me so much of our kids too. Like they blow and it was so cute. Oh my God, you girls are
This is
beautiful.
a great spot to leave a plug. It's 2 Dads, 3 Girls on Facebook, and there's little videos and stuff there. You can get is that where I got your sneak peek of the book? Because it says sign
It's on 2dads3girls.com.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to go to the website.
There's the
I
website
think.
also, but the Facebook page has the videos, and they're adorable.
Thank you.
Man, I think it's our God-given birthright to love and be loved. And I'm so happy that you were brave enough to find your love and to find your own path and to be your true self and to be brave enough now to share it with everybody else. I'm in awe. I'm very inspired.
Thank you, Sam, for the nice word, and thank you, Patrick, for everything. I feel like I didn't share too much about all the struggle with me and Brian, so
That you didn't?
I didn't, because when I was writing the book, Brian never watched cartoons. Sorry to go on a tangent. He
That's
never, until we have kids, and then what we watch every day is cartoon. And then there's in the Let It Go, they have the song about the not so perfect. Do you know what I'm saying? With the trolls, they're trying to get married. Anyway, so that song they're talking about.
In the one with the snow? Oh gosh, I think I saw.
Yes, they're talking about the Fixer Upper. Yeah, it's a cartoon. The Frozen.
Frozen, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Our daughter played Let It Go. That's why my name of that is Let It Go. It's not Frozen. So anyway,
I think I know. Is that the Frozen movie? Yeah, Frozen, and there is that Let It Go song. It's fantastic.
So it's like they have the song there. It's called Fixer Upper, and then at first they're thinking the guy is a fixer upper because he smelled bad and everything, and then they learn about the girl is getting engaged or something. Oh, they say the girl is also a fixer upper. So it's just 2 fixer upper putting together. I just think that's so much about me and Brian, and then I really, really feel that way. And then that's why I love your podcast so much, because I think you capture the absence of all the relationship. It's we're not perfect, none of us are, but how we can make a way work, and then to accept who we are, and then to use each other as a mirror to see each other better, and to do self-improvement, to be on a journey together. So I love the podcast you guys made. So thank you.
Oh my God, I love that you just said that too.
It is.
Every person in every couple's still a fixer-upper. And I like what you said too. Like, you're not trying to fix the other person. You're a fixer-upper for sure. I'm a fixer-upper for sure, but I'm responsible for my fixing up of myself. Mm-hmm. And he's responsible of fixing up himself. And as long as everybody understands that, it goes a little bit, it's a little bit easier if you just know that.
And all we can do is just nag each other to help.
Yeah, that's what we do.
That's how
like
you get
this.
things
Remember
done.
how you were working on that?
Remember how you were trying to improve this about yourself? And doing that in a while, and,
That's so true.
They're sweet, loving reminders, not nagging.
No, at the end of the day, every relationship is similar. Nobody's perfect. We all argue about dumb shit. And usually within 24 to 48 hours, don't even remember what it was or why we were so mad, because most of the time we're mad. It's about something completely different than what we're arguing about. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that is the crux of the relationship.
If we just remember that the love is what we're fighting for, right?
That's right.
That's the sacred bit. It's the love
And then
between
when
us, and that's the magic. That's the bigger love.
And then when we get done arguing, we can have makeup sex.
Yeah. Yep.
That's another bigger love.
Yeah.
Oh, loving it.
Nikki, is there anything else that you want to say or share or plug?
I just want more people listening to your podcast, and then you guys continue to interview amazing people and then sharing amazing advice that I can learn from you, and then especially the story you share about how you guys were thinking about going different way and coming back together, how to continue improving yourself and improving the relationship. I think that helped me. Brian haven't read the book yet, but I'm going to start letting him also to do that. And I think those are helpful things that you guys are doing to help different people in their relationship. Because one last note is, I realized the divorce rate in this country is really high.
It's
And
very
I just
high.
think it's so many people, so easy just to say, I want to give up. And then
Yes.
because now I think that's what I need to chase after. But they forgot at the original place why they were together.
Mhm.
Why nothing is a straight line. Sometimes you go around, and then the people, things confuse you. And then, so that's why I think your podcast will be so helpful. And then for people that are living here,
As long as
in
we
this
have,
amazing country.
Thanks, Nikki.
as long as we keep scoring awesome guests like you, I
Yeah.
think it will be a big help.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you for being so nice.
Will you plug your website and your Facebook page and the name of your book? I think they're all the same. Spoiler alert.
Well, you've
one
already
more
said
time.
it like 4
I
times.
know, but I want him to say it.
All right.
Yeah, definitely. So my website is www.2dads3girls.com. So it's numeric 2 and then 3. So it's not spelling out. And then my Facebook is the same, 2 Dads 3 Girls. And then just go over there, and then the book will be on June 4th. And then you can go there. And then we are going to be, when we first launched, to be 99 cents, because we just wanted to reach out to as many people as possible.
Mhm.
And then you can go there to download your copy. And then feel free to share your own story as well. If you are trying to find your identity, and then no matter it's a sexual identity or what kind of thing. And then because we're all on a journey of love and courage. And then I'm always there if you want some help or advice or somebody to talk to.
Awesome. We're dropping the mic right
Drop
there.
the mic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being on our podcast. And please kiss all of those girls and your husband for us.
I will.
Even though we haven't met them, we love them.
Yeah, thank you so much, Patrick. Thank you so much, Sam, for inviting me. It's my honor.
It's our honor.
Thank you. Our honor as well.
Okay, I'm going to take my older daughter.